A high drop fade with the crispy beard lineup and the waves on top. I'm shampooing my client, getting that hairline as clean as possible because clean hair gives us the best results. I hold my hand there in front of his forehead to make sure the water doesn't get all over his face. And a great way to start a haircut is by combing through the waves, understanding where the crown area, all the directions that the hair is laying down, so that way we don't leave any patches. As I'm cutting the hair, I'm also combing the hair. I then use my babbleless to go ahead and set that first initial guideline, and then I'm going to open that lever all the way open, and I'm going to start blending. And having a pattern of consistent clipper strokes along with the fluid movement along each guideline, that's really one of the keys to blending. You want to all be consistent with your fade. And I'm just going to go one notch at a time until I blend out that first guideline. I then throw on my number 1 guard, and I'm using the wall guards on my babbleless clipper. The initial guideline is set at the arch, and it drops down as soon as we hit the ear, and it goes below the occipital bone. And the key to blending is really having that consistent clipper stroke. You want to have a continuous fluid movement all the way through each guideline. Every guideline shouldn't be moved past until it's completely blended. I have a 3-point blending technique that I'm using here, where I start off with no guard, I do the 1 guard and the 2 guard, and I then detail it out with my Andis Masters. And you can see that blend come together. Another technique that's gonna help you guys to get to another level with your lineups is the barber saw technique, where I apply the hot towel, and this dries the skin and creates those crispy lineups. As well as a wave technique, I'm gonna be using a mousse on the top of his head, and that's going to bring the waves out. This is the last quarter of 2019. We got to finish strong. We got to go into 2020 with some momentum and then create that snowball effect. Right here, we have the mousse blow drying into his head. And you guys will see as I brush this in, the effect it has on his waves. So we apply the spritz on the lineup. We then have a certain amount of time to apply those fibers before that spritz dries. Now that we have blow dried that spritz dry, it's time to line up those fibers once more, and you can see this haircut coming together. All we have to do is take off the layer of hair underneath the fade. I'm using my Gamma trimmers right here. They've been a nice tool for me to add into my lineup. Right here I'm using my Bronze Series 9 shaver, and I'm just gonna get any hairs that I didn't get with the trimmer, any stubble. This really helps the fade to have contrast and pop out more. I use those Bronze Series 9 just like I would with the clipper, and I'm flicking out at the top. And now to fade his beard, I start that at the very beginning of the earlobe. I then use the same method, open halfway closed, on my babbleless clipper. And I'm gonna start this transition with no guard, with the number 1 guard, and then I'm gonna go with the grain. And there we go, we have a transition on the beard. Now I'll lean my client back, and you see I do have a towel placed behind his head. And now that my client is leaned back, I will then go ahead and use the straight razor to create that lineup on the beard. I'm not using a trimmer to line it up, I'm using the straight razor, and this helps me not push the beard down too low. You can see I'm stretching the skin in the opposite direction that I'm hitting the straight razor in, and this is helping me to not have any irritation on the client's skin. And then as soon as I make that lineup, I'll then go ahead and remove any excess hair above the beard, and the crispier we can get this, the more that line is gonna pop. remove all those hairs on the cheek, and I'm left with nothing but a crispy lineup. I'll then use my gamma trimmer and get the hair underneath the beard, and this is the last step to creating this crispy beard lineup and beard trim. And you'll see that this really complements the fade very well. Put the emphasis on learning your skills, learning your techniques. Everything will come together for you if you just put the best performance out time after time, not really worrying about how good the client's hair is, just worrying about your skills and your techniques. I'm gonna ask my client to go ahead and blow air in the cheek, and this helps me to get any details on that lineup and not give the beard a slouched look. It actually has more of a better line that way than if I stretch the skin too much. Now I'm gonna go ahead and line it up underneath on the mustache, and then I use the straight razor on top of his mustache. Once again, it's allowing me to not push that mustache too low. Sometimes that skin is a little sensitive and the liners can actually irritate it, and you don't wanna red line them. So I always use that straight razor and get that precision. And if you guys have learned anything in this video, please comment below, tag someone, share it with a friend. Leave that fire in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. We got more videos coming every single week. And if you are looking for more videos, I have a taper video, I have another drop fade. Like, comment, subscribe. And right here, detail is everything. So you might think the cut is finished, but there's still a lot of small things that I see, small hairs poking out on top, and I'm able to knock those down. Any stray hairs I see, I'm using the trimmer and I'm coming over top. I then apply the pomade. I heat it up in my hands, I lay it down. I appreciate you guys tuning in to another video. I have another drop fade video on this YouTube channel, as well as some other low tapers. I have high tapers. You name it, I got it. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Jay Faded, and I'm out.